So often I'll speak at conferences and the CEO or the managing director of the organization will give the opening address. It'll be like the State of the Union type speech. They'll talk about the year ahead and all the exciting things that are in the pipeline. They'll say things like, this year we've got to be innovative, we've got to be agile. And they'll say the stakes are really high this year, and then you wait for the sentence. And they'll say this year, failure is not an option. And I get what they mean when they say it. Basically, they're saying excellence is what we're aiming at. Anything less is second best, and that's not good enough. And I understand the intention behind that statement, but I'm like, are you serious? Failure is not an option? You've just said we've got to be innovative, we've got to be agile, but you've also then said, but don't take any risks, don't stuff up. And the challenge with that is, innovation is always a result of risk and failure. We've got to have an appetite for trying new things if we're going to discover new ways of doing things. It's like trying to say to someone, create a masterpiece, but don't you colour outside the lines. And so the question I would ask is, within your organisation, what's your appetite for risk and failure? Because for many of us, we're so risk averse, and I understand why. We have stock markets that are watching us, and any mistake, we crucify people so readily, and yet we've got to address that culture internally. What's the culture you have when mistakes are made? I reckon a great example of a great cultural response to a mistake or a failure is actually from IBM in the 1980s. There was a famous case where one of the IBM staff, a key leader, had made a mistake that cost the company $4 million. And it wasn't a reckless mistake. He was trying something new and it just didn't work out. And he, of course, took his resignation letter to his boss and handed the envelope across the table to his superior. His superior read the resignation letter, folded it back up, set it back across the table and said, I can't accept your resignation. And the guy said, well, what do you mean? You know the mistake I've made. You know how much it's cost us. You know how embarrassing it is. And his boss said this, I love this. He said, no, think of it this way. We've just invested $4 million in your education. Why would I let you take that to our competitors? I thought, what a great cultural response. What a great mentality to have around risk. Now, of course, if you keep making the same mistake time and time again, that is called stupidity or incompetence. That needs to be dealt with ruthlessly. But if we're talking about people just taking a swing, trying new things, when stuff falls over, what's the response? Because if you look at the last year or the last 12 months and there haven't been any failures, you might think that's something to be proud of. The reality is you're probably not trying enough new things. And so, my challenge to you is this: develop an appetite for failure, but a culture for when failure occurs that means people don't feel that they're ostracized by the mistake they've made. Now, imagine if the culture was this: when someone in a team makes a mistake, instead of stepping back and everyone pointing saying, it wasn't me, I wouldn't have done it, I could have told you it wouldn't have worked. What if the culture was when someone makes a mistake, people step forward? They'd gather around the person and the mistake and they go, what can we learn from this? Because it's the learnings. As we gather together, that's where innovation occurs. Because the challenge is the moment you step back and point the finger, the person who's left hung out to dry, it's not just them that learns from that experience, it's everyone around them that says, okay, the lesson from this is don't take a risk, don't try anything different, don't colour outside the lines, because next time it could be me who's the one left hung out to dry. And so again, what is your appetite for innovation? What is the cultural response to innovation? Because any great breakthrough, any great innovation has always come as a result of risk, of failure, of trying new things. And when things fall over, and I say when, not if, when they fall over, responding in a constructive, positive way.